and I'm gonna splice these together before posting it. I forgot to mention kind of how I started the video. You know, he pulled me over and said you were bobbing and weaving and you kind of went over the line. Have you been drinking and stuff like that? But then he immediately dropped that, and the ticket I got was for crossing the line. So I really want to see how it plays out in court when your claim for pulling me over is that basically your claim was that I was bobbing and weaving, that I was drunk. You're accusing me of drunk driving, and that's why you pulled me over. So then why is my ticket for crossing the line? So you're lying about pulling me, about why you're pulling me over. Yeah, I haven't eaten today. Freaking intermittent fasting, so my blood sugar and all that is a little bit low. My talking is a little erratic, but I'm still of sound mind and logical speaking. Or I have to wait a few hours to eat. So yeah, I know it sounds a little erratic in court, and I know that's not for the best, but it's because of the low blood sugar. But I still obviously understand what I'm saying. The cop completely changed his story when it came to writing the actual ticket. He was looking for an excuse to pull me over and lied, and probably expected me to be the typical Bismarck person. Oh, please, sir, please don't give me a ticket, sir. Please, I know, I must have crossed the line, sir. I must have not paid attention and just crossed the line. And he was probably wouldn't have given me a ticket. He'd probably been like, oh, don't worry about it. I just need to check your information, because that's what it's all about, huh? He saw me parked over in that area, and it was really about wanting to check my ID. He wanted to know why I was over there. Do you know what that is? That is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. A violation of my constitutional rights. And you know what that does? That disqualifies his qualified immunity. And I am going to do my very best to prove that he violated my rights. And I'm going to do what I can to sue him personally. And yeah, I mean, I'm just as sick of out of control cops. And you don't have to be a cop that murders someone to be out of control. Like I said, what this came down to, this is a violation of rights. What it came down to is this cop probably really wanted to know who I was. He was looking for an excuse to pull me over, and an incentive to write tickets. You know, $40. 99% of people are like, oh, it's just $40. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to send it in. That's the typical mindset. And he met the 1 out of 100 person. And either way this ends, again, the moral implications of robbery, imprisonment, murder, over crossing a line of paint on the road. Now, I'll let you kick that around in your brain. So this is where it all started. I stopped here to pick up a customer. Came up this road. If you're seeing this in court, that means my right to be innocent until proven guilty has been violated. I'm definitely posting this on YouTube. Second this way. I don't know why the DoorDash. Oh, there was a. Somebody threw something out the window. Well, I came up this way. So what I was pulled over for, he pulled me over and said I was bobbing and weaving and crossed the bike path line, which isn't illegal, by the way. You're allowed to go into the bike path lane to avoid obstacles as long as the bike path doesn't have a bike in it. And so there wasn't as much snow that night, so I'm gonna give them that, or try to work with that, or whatever the dash cam will show. But there was this same cover up of the middle line, and I was following the car in front of me. So he followed me from back there. He flagged me. I have a radar detector. I wish I should have started filming after he flagged me, because I knew he was gonna pull me over, but I didn't. I knew he didn't have actual cause. So, I mean, it makes sense so far. This is the way I'd been driving. I knew he was behind me, so I was minding my P's and Q's. Go over. Okay, see right here. No. Yeah. But again, I didn't get flagged. Okay, right here, I did a little bobbing and weaving because there was a manhole right there. That'll show up on the video. And we stopped. He had flagged me the second time back there. Right here, I probably did another weave. There was the manhole cover that'll show. And again, he didn't pull me over until I turned. So we will see on the video where I went over the line. It's possible if that other car turned, I might have went around them. And it's possible I might have turned a little bit, or entered it a little bit when I turned to give the cars behind me room to pass. And then he didn't turn on his lights till about here-ish, because I didn't have enough time to pull up behind this car, which was still parked here. I parked up here. So yeah, he took all that time to wait to pull me over. So I will either post the dash cam footage when I FOIA it, or after I get it from the court case for right to evidence or whatever. Yeah, I'm not exactly versed in it, but I'm intelligent enough and pay attention enough that, yeah, for just a simple ticket, I'm gonna ask for a lawyer, because I'm definitely gonna make them waste as much money as possible, because this whole thing is bullshit. He was looking for an excuse to pull me over, and again, I may have touched the line, avoiding a pothole, or that middle part is covered as shown in the video. And when that middle part is covered, sometimes the cars on the oncoming lane are a little bit close or whatever like that, and I may have touched it with an oncoming car. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I knew he was behind me, and I was following a vehicle, so if I went over anything, so did the vehicle in front of me, unless they weren't avoiding the potholes, again, which you are legally allowed to do, which the cop and the car in front of me were both SUVs. My car is not an SUV. I should have hit a couple potholes actually to show that in my car, a pothole is it's probably not gonna snap my suspension, but it's definitely damaging. My stuff scrapes. It's just, you can feel every pebble in this car, and I had a customer in here. But again, I don't really have to try to justify that too much, because you are legally allowed to. And look at these roads. Not as much snow that night, but there was definitely snow on the road. You have the right to follow the well-tread path, because that's going to be your best chance of getting traction. I can't wait till this goes to court. I can't wait till this goes. I can't wait because it's not just crossing the line and oop, that's illegal. Like, you have to illegally occupy that lane, like obscuring a bicyclist or staying in there a certain amount of time. Like, I know it's not just, oh, you touched the line, you get pulled over. Like, imagine thinking they have the right to violate your rights over a line of paint. Like, think about that. Think about if you agree with them, whether it's the courts justify it or not, the moral implications of being beat to death or jailed over crossing a piece of paint. Like, okay, support it all you want and stuff, but don't pretend you're the good guy. Just don't. You're morally reprehensible. You're brainwashed. So whatever comes out of this in the end, you know, I don't feel like anything, because at worst I went over a piece of paint, and you want to rob me for going over a piece of paint? Like, what is that? What type of dystopian government, like, illegal, like, deplorable, immoral robbery? Like, disgusting. Whatever. I just can't wait to see what comes of this, because I want to make it as public as possible, because, again, just the logical and moral implications of murder or imprisonment over a piece of line, or a piece of paint, a line of paint on a road. And you can say, oh, but if it was a person, oh, if a person was in there, okay, then we're not talking about a piece of paint, we're talking about a human life. So don't jump to A to fucking F and pretend that you just made some masterful Einstein discovery. Give me a break. If you made it this far, you're either listening to it because you're a jury member or a judge, or you listen to it on YouTube. If you're listening to it on YouTube, you're awesome. I'm going to do as much of this as possible, make as much of this public as possible. And I wonder if the PD will see this. I'm sure they will eventually, because I'm sure I'll have to make it known, right to evidence or whatever, because that first video is definitely going to get used in court. So, yay.